The Age of Industrialization. In this lesson, we shall learn about the period before and after Industrial Revolution. The industrialization means the use of modern techniques, equipments in our real life. In the 17th and 18th centuries, merchants from the towns in Europe began to move to countryside, supplying money to peasants and artisans, persuading them to produce for an international market. With the expansion of world trade and the acquisition of colonies in different parts of the world, the demand for goods began growing, but merchants could not expand productions with towns. This was because here urban crafts and trade guilds were powerful. These were associations of a producer that trained craftspeople, maintained control over production, regulated competitions and praised and restricted the entry of new people into the trade. Rulers granted different guilds the monopoly right to produce and trade in specific products. It was therefore difficult for new merchants to set up business in towns, so they turned to the countryside. In the countryside, poor peasants and artisans began working for these merchants. Cottagers and poor peasants who had earlier depended on common lands for their survival, gathering their firewood, berries, vegetables, hay and straw, had to now look, and hence they eagerly agreed to work for merchants to the countryside. Within this system, a close relationship developed between the town and the countryside. In the 18th century, most of workers used hand spinning machine for production of yarn in textile industries. A merchant clothier in England buy wool from wool stapler and finishing was done in London before the export merchant sold the cloth in international market. This was the reason that London came to be known as a finishing center. This proto-industrial system was thus part of a network of commercial exchanges. The coming up of the factory. The earliest factories in England came up by the 1730s. But in 18th century, a large number of factories multiplied. The first symbol of the new era was cotton. Its production boomed in the late 19th century. A series of inventions in the 18th century increased the efficiency of each step of the production process: carding, twisting, spinning, and rolling. They enhanced the output per worker, enabling each worker to produce more, and they made possible the production of stronger threads and yarn. Then Richard Arkwright created the cotton mill. Till this time, as you have seen, cloth production was spread all over the countryside, but now the costly new machines could be purchased, set up and maintained in the mill. In the early 19th century, factories increasingly became an intimate part of the English landscape. The pace of industrial change. The most dynamic industries in Britain were clearly cotton and metals. Growing at a rapid pace, cotton was the leading sector in the first phase of industrialization up to the 1840s. After that, the iron and steel industry led the way. With the expansion of railways in England, the demand for iron and steel increased rapidly. Other industries were also speeding up by 1873. Britain was exporting iron and steel worth about pound 77 million, which was double the value of its cotton export. Railway was major transport facility at that time. In the fitting shop, new locomotive engines were completed and old were repaired at railway depots in England. The new industries could not easily displace traditional industries. Even at the end of the 19th century, less than 20% of the total workforce was employed in technologically advanced industrial sectors. Technologically advanced industrial sectors. Textile was a dynamic sector, but a large portion of the output was produced not within factories but outside within domestic units. The pace of change in traditional industries was not set by steam-powered cotton or metal industries, but they did not remain entirely stagnant either. Seemingly, ordinary and small innovations were the basis of growth in many non-mechanized sectors such as food processing, building, pottery, glass, tanning, furniture making, and production of implements. Technological change occurred slowly. They did not spread dramatically across the industrial landscape. New technology was expensive, and merchants and industrialists were cautious about using it. The machines often broke down and repair was costly. New technology was used in 1830 in spinning factor. You can see how a giant wheel moved by steam power could set in motion and hundreds of spindles to manufacture thread. That is all in this topic. In the next topic, we will learn about the life of the workers and industrialization in the colonies. Till then, keep learning.